the legal status of nearly 250,000 Ukrainians who have fled here since the war began. Special envoy to Russia and Ukraine, General Keith Kellogg, joins us now. General, I know there was an emergency meeting of European allies without us yesterday in response to our pause in weapons and our hold off on sharing intelligence. What do you think comes from that, and what's the U.S. stance about that?
Yeah, Brian, thanks for having me this morning. It's good to be with you. Look, this goes back to what President Trump has said all along. That to start with, and he's absolutely right, this war would not have started if he was President of the United States. But he's been looking at this for a long time. This isn't something he just came into on the 20th of January when he was inaugurated. He's been thinking about it, working about it. I mean, I remember him being on the campaign trail a year ago when we actually talked about it when we went into Iowa. And look, he's basically said, look, this war is an endless war right now. It's in almost a stalemate condition, and this war's got to stop. What you're looking at, the levels of destruction is horrific. It's World War II level of destruction. And the president sees that, and he said consistently that he wants the war to stop. He needs to end the killing. He's been very, very good at that. And when he looks at the Europeans, he's trying to bring them along the same way, saying, look, you've got to come to some type of negotiated solution to this. This war is not going to be decided on the battlefield. It's just not, because both sides are dug in, they're entrenched, and the president sees diplomacy, and he's very good at this, on coming to a solution. And look, look what he's done in the last 40 days. I mean, he's had Steve Witkoff talking to Putin in Moscow. You know, I've been into Kyiv talking to Zelensky. He's got an all-star team. When you look at Besant from Treasury, and you look at Steve Witkoff, the special negotiator that working with Russia. When you look at Letnick, you look at Mike Waltz. It's an all-star team that's got a full court press on trying to bring this to a resolution, and he's trying to bring the Europeans along with him.
You know the deal.
He said, if you don't do it, you don't do it.
Right. So, General, we know that it looks like they're ready to sign the minerals deal, as it looks. I don't know if they need to see each other face to face. They could do a docu-sign. We do that every day, and then we get to it. Now, besides Russia talking to Witkoff and saying to President Trump personally they're ready for peace, where is any Russian give? When can we see if Russia is actually going to do something substantial, any type of confidence building on their end? Because yesterday they're still bombing cities and hospitals.
Well, you know, Brian, this is a war. This is the reason why President Trump wants it to stop. You know, war's not pristine, and that's where President Trump really sees that. And he sees the horrific casualties and the damage to the cities. And he made that comment earlier last Friday when he talked about the damage to the cities. Look at Mariupol, a major city absolutely destroyed. I've been inside Izium, which was a city of 70,000 down to 20,000, in the destruction I saw there. The president gets it. He sees it, where he wants to go. He's got Steve talking to the Russians, talking personally to President Putin. And we've got a set of conditions, what we know that Steve's come back with. We've gone to the Ukrainians and talked to them, and we're going to continue to talk to the Ukrainians to get confidence-building measures that we can bring to the president. And we can say, okay, this is the way it stands on both sides. This is where you want to go. It's not an easy process. It's a really difficult process. The president has said that. You know, remember he made the comment that the Mideast is kind of easy compared to this. So he's actually working it hard.
Right. So
he's got a great team in place and synchronized going forward.
Now, being that we know where we're at, when do we think we're going to have more Russian talks? When do you think we're going to have the more? Ukraine has already pretty much said, we'll sign the deal. We're ready to talk. So what's the next move with Russia?
Well, that's one of those where I think it's internal to the White House. The discussions going forward. You know, Steve's got that. Mike Waltz has got that. Marco Rubio's got that, and Marco's the chief diplomat of the United States of America. It's really on his plate to move that forward. So I don't want to get ahead of the president. I would never do that. This is his decision to make. He's the president, and we'll go from there.
But I'll tell you, no American knows more about what this war's been like on the ground than you. You've been doing this as a private citizen. That's why you're the perfect pick. I got to ask you to tap into your years of the military experience for this one, though. The Gaza war and IDF and phase one of the peace deal. Yesterday, the president put out a Truth Social post after meeting with some of the surviving hostages. He said, Shalom Hamas means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it's over for you. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay. It's a little bit longer, but you get the theme. He says, I'm going to give the IDF everything they need to finish you off. What does it get in the mind of a terrorist? How are they going to internalize this?
Well, they're not. They're not reading the room very well. Look, Eden Alexander is the last American alive that's a hostage, and they've got 4 dead Americans they want to bring back to the United States. Look, this is something you guys just don't read President Trump very well. I go back to 2020, the last State of the Union, when in the closing comments he made, if you harm an American, your life is forfeit. And this, months after that, we went and picked up a guy named Philip Watson in Africa. We sent SEAL Team 6 in there just to get one single American. That's the way the president thinks. It's almost like you're not reading the room, you're not reading the individual as president of the United States. He's been very, very clear. And they just don't seem to get it. And he's absolutely right. And the president has called this one right on the money. So if I was Hamas, I'd say, you know something, just release Alexander, get him back to the United States, release the 4 bodies that we believe you still have, and let's close this deal out. Otherwise, you're going to pay a horrible price. But this is not anything new with President Trump.
But
it's the way he is. It's the way he operates.
Adam Bowler met face-to-face with Hamas leadership. Are you okay with that? And what do you think that does?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Adam Bowler, that's his job to do that. And Caroline Leavitt made those comments yesterday. This is the job of the special envoy for hostage affairs. And Adam's doing that. And Adam's very, very talented to do that. We just want to get the American back. Eden Alexander, he's the last one there. Bring him home. And that's what we're going to do. I think nobody can question, our efforts with Israel and supporting Israel against Hamas and Hezbollah as well, and also Iran. And this is just another step forward. I don't think people should get worried about the technicalities. This is just us trying to finish the job.
Well, no doubt about it. The IDF will be the hammer if they do not produce the hostages. Thanks so much, General Kellogg. A lot on your shoulders,
Thanks,
too.